Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. This is Peter Getao, WK. This is an online platform, and here everybody matters. Everybody is somebody, and as I usually say, here we put issues on the table, we look issue after the other, and finally we get a solution. Today, I know that I'm speaking to different types of people. I am speaking to those people who are employed. I'm speaking to people who are self-employed. I'm speaking to men and women in business, and I'm also speaking to those people who are looking for jobs. You cannot fail to be in one of these categories. You could be employed, self-employed, you are in business, or else you could be looking for jobs. But today, I want to talk about a trend that has been happening recently. We have seen people, especially in the corporate world, they are moving from one job to the other, probably looking for a greener pasture. It is allowed. And we have also seen people maybe resigning from their jobs and they are going, to start their own businesses. It's also allowed. So my discussion, or the point of discussion here, is not about whether you are supposed to leave your job or not. No, that is not our discussion. It is when are you supposed to leave that job that you are doing. You could be employed, you could be working in a civil service, you could be being employed in a private organization, you could be employed in the United Nations, you could be in any field or any area of specialization that you could be. So the question is whether you should. The question should not be whether you should leave that job or not. But the question that I want to be, or the discussion that I want us to have is, when are you supposed to resign? When are you supposed to leave that job? When are you supposed maybe to, you say maybe you have not been promoted, or maybe you want to go and start your own businesses. When should you do that? That is our point of discussion this today. I would like to start by saying that before you leave the job that you are doing, or even before you start to decide whether you should resign or not, it is always good to ensure that you have performed. Ensure that you have outgrown the organization. And when you have performed, it can also form a good and a great basis of renegotiation of maybe terms of employment. Probably you want to be, you want to be promoted. The matter is that you should first perform. So that should be the first priority even before you leave that job. We have seen people leaving job, but they have not bring anything to the company. So before you make a decision that you want to go and start your own business, because this is what most of people are doing. And what you are forgetting is that it is not everybody that is made for business, you know. So before you leave that job, before you resign that job, to go to start a business, or maybe to go to another job, because those are two scenarios that happens. You leave job so that you can go for another job that is maybe a greener pasture, or maybe you leave that job because you want to go and start your own business. So there are some of the points that I want you to note, that one of the first thing that you should ensure is that you perform at your place of work, so that even if you want to resign, employer cannot afford to lose you. He will just reconsider the terms of the contract, and probably he's going, or he or she is going to, to promote you, and maybe and to look back, or maybe to look at the terms of employment. So before you leave, let your performance speak for you. That should be the first thing. Let your performance speak is for itself, and also ensure that you exceed your employer's targets. And if you leave job, we have seen many people leaving jobs. They got to start their businesses, and you cannot leave your job and you have not performed. You expect that when you are going to start your own job, you are going to perform. It cannot be like that. So if you have failed to supervise if you have failed to perform when you are under supervision, don't be cheated that you are going to perform when you are going to be your own boss, when you are going to be under your own supervision. I'm not discouraging people from resigning jobs and go and doing other jobs. No, change is inevitable, and it is allowed. And I have started saying that the relationship between employee and employer is not like a marriage relationship that you cannot leave that job. No, but what I'm discouraging is this behavior of people. You leave job, you have not performed, then you go to start another job, maybe of that kind, and then you expect that you are going to perform. No. Before you leave the job, ensure that you have performed, and also ensure that you have met the employer's expectation. And when you do that, if you go to start your own job, I'm sure I can guarantee that you are also going to make it. So it's always good to consider before you make a decision. We have seen people who have lost jobs a couple of times. You go to this organization, you lose job, you go to another one, losing jobs a couple of times. If you find yourself in such scenario, then you should know that you are the problem. Most of the people, when they maybe they lose job, they start maybe blaming their bosses, but most of the time your employer will look you at a factor of production. And therefore, if you are not bringing anything to the company, then you should know that you can lose that job, because you can only be sustained by the profit that is being made in that company. So before leaving job or resigning, you should maybe consider whether you have performed, or whether if you go to start that job, you can be able to sustain that job. Because most people, they do not admit that they were sacked because of non-performance, because non-performance is embarrassing. And you find that many of job losers, they create stories how their bosses were against them, because of course they cannot agree that they were underperforming. Yes, I know that some bosses, they may be nuts, but employers have nothing personal with the employees. So I wanted maybe to put this to you, that before you decide to resign, ensure that you have outgrown that company. Because if you have not outgrown that company, there is no profit that you have made. I can guarantee you that there is nothing else that you are going to do. So thank you guys because of that advice, and also because of viewing. Subscribe and remember to share. Thank you. Till we meet in the next episode.